All right, so Arachnoiditis Unfiltered is going a bit off the rails today. We're going to do a public service announcement, and it comes at the heels of a cardiac event that I had this last week. Um, Woke up at 3:30 in the morning on Thursday, had some diarrhea. For some reason, my stomach was really upset. That was followed by nausea, and a lot of dry heaves. I had nothing in my stomach. And then all of a sudden, I started feeling chest pain.
Mm.
And of course, the first thing you think about when you have chest pain is, oh, I've got heartburn. And
Mm.
I, of course, having, thrown up and having stomach issues, that my first thought was, wow, I need to take an antacid. So I went and mixed an antacid. I drank it and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be good. I just need to sit down for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then my chest pain started to grow. And it was like literally right in the center of my chest. And then I started feeling axillary pain in my left arm. And that started radiating down to my thumb. And then all of a sudden I felt something in my carotid, in my neck. And then
Mm.
my jaw felt like a toothache. And my first heart attack, which happened in 2016 during a training ride in the middle of the summer, hot Oklahoma summer, I felt all those same things, not to the extreme that I was feeling it on Thursday, but I felt all those things. And I knew I was having a heart attack. And here's the funny thing is I was taught that the first thing you're going to think is denial. I'm not having a heart attack. I was riding
Right.
a bike, right? I mean, just minutes before I was 20 miles an hour down a street, head down, just really rocking it, giving it hell. And so I came home, I took a shower, I totally didn't think about it. And months later, I asked my doctor, hey, can you tell if I've had a heart attack? And they did a nuclear medicine scan and found out that yes, I'd had a heart attack and I lost 15% of my function. So on Thursday, as things kind of rolled and came full circle with respect to that pain, and it was that much more intense, I was like, there's something going on here. So I drove myself to the emergency room and
Shame, shame. I have to interject. Everybody, if this happens to you, call an ambulance or have somebody else drive you. Please.
I
I
agree
know you
with that.
know, but
Yeah, in the worst case scenario, I agree with that. In my situation, I knew where I wanted to go, and the problem with calling an ambulance, and this in no way is advice, but they're not always going to take you where you say you want to go. Which I wanted to go to Oklahoma Heart Hospital. I've been there three times before, well, four times before, um, and I knew that it was a short 35, 40-minute drive. I mean, that's short for me. And so I made it there. And the whole reason I averted the ambulance is because I wanted to go there for my doctor and avoid. And so when I walked in and I told them, and to know me is like, I'm not going to go in there going, I'm having a heart attack. I'm having a heart attack. I walk in and they're like, can we help you? And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm having a heart attack. Very nonchalant, right? I mean, that's just kind
yeah,
of my
right.
nature. They get me back, they start working me up, and they said, well, it doesn't really look like you're having a heart attack, Mr. Lovelace. I'm like, no, I'm having a heart attack. I know my body, and we were talking about this earlier. Listen to your body.
Yeah.
And so they started working me up, and within maybe 20 minutes of being there, maybe 30, my surgeon walks in. He grabbed me by the arm, and he just kind of gently squeezed me. He says, we're going to get you back in the cath lab. And I woke up in recovery to him telling me that, yes, I did have a heart attack. I had a blood clot in one of my main coronary arteries,
Yeah.
and they were able to get through to the clot, bust it up, and you do an angioplasty, but they couldn't put a stent in because it was already, the blood clot was in an area that was already heavily stented, stent over stent over stent. I've got 9 stents total, coronary stents from all my 4 heart attacks that I've had. And so this public service announcement is about listening to your body. Um, I'd been feeling a few things here and there, and I had just kind of put it, to the side. But when something of this nature happens, don't avoid calling 911 like I did. Don't,
Amen. Yeah, amen.
as Sarah pointed out, call 911. I
Right.
did, I did my own thing. I mean,
So
just
just one thing I want to interject, you can tell them you don't want the lights and sirens. So I've had done that before. Don't do the lights and because for me, I don't want my neighbors to know what's going on or to like, what if it's not? Then I'm gonna feel like an idiot, right? But at the same time, too, you can tell them you want to go to whatever hospital you went to. You can demand it, as a matter of fact.
oh,
But I get your point too, but my fear was like, oh my God, you drove yourself. Like, what if what if your lights went out literally and you're
yeah.
driving? Like, holy crap.
I know. Yeah. I
So,
mean, I was very scared on the way there because my pain kept intensifying. I
yeah.
had my nitroglycerin. I did two initially. And the protocol for me with because I've had angina in the past with all my heart issues, my doctor says, when you reach the point of if you put four and five, in succession in and nothing's happening, that's when you know you have a problem. You've already vasodilated or
Mhm.
dilated to the point where
Right.
you're going to try to get enough blood flow through there.
Hmm.
Um, but that's the point when, yeah, 911. And, honestly, it was not a matter of cost for me because in my utility bill, we pay a certain fee and we have 911 services covered for us. So
Right.
that was not an issue as much as it was I wanted to get to
This
Heart
select,
Hospital.
yeah, where they know you and they know everything that's happened, which I can totally, and
Yeah.
especially if it was that far away, they may have tried to push for you to go somewhere closer, but
Yeah. No, I did the last time that this happened, I called them and I said, hey, my heart rate's up to like 165 for no reason. And
mm,
I'm 65, so I was kind of at my max, right? Like, when you're exercising, you want to work at about maybe 80% of your max heart rate. Going
right.
beyond that, you really kind of risk a few things.
Yeah.
And my max heart rate, I think, was right around 170
Mm,
at the time. If you do 265 minus your age, right? That's kind of,
right.
at least from what I recollect, that was the number times point 0.8, and then you get your max.
Right.
Um, but yeah, then they said, hey, you know what? If you can get yourself here, because there was a snowstorm and roads, for the most part, were somewhat impassable, and there was no telling how long it would have taken for an ambulance to get
Ambulance to
here.
get
So they
there.
said, you know
Yeah.
what? If you can drive in, and we'll check you out. There's nobody here. We're pretty much, dead, for lack of a better descriptor of,
Right.
what's
Right.
going on in the ER. So yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to, that Thursday could have been my last day on Earth. Could have
Yeah.
been, but
Right.
wasn't. Thank goodness I've got my nitroglycerin. I keep it like I've got one in pretty much every room in my house and one in my little bag that I carry with me everywhere.
So
So,
I do have a question. When that was going on before you went to the hospital, did you take aspirin? A 325 aspirin?
I take it daily. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on a
Okay.
blood thinner. I'm
Okay.
on
Good.
beta blocker. Yeah. I mean, I'm on all kinds of stuff. And they did change my blood thinner up to
Yes.
what's twice a day versus once a day.
Mhm.
Um, Brilinta, I think is what
Yep.
they.
That's what my husband was on.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's a
Yeah.
whole year. So
Yeah.
at
So
least it was for him anyhow. Everybody's different, but yeah,
anyway,
that's
this
good.
whole thing is listen to your body. If you start out with chest pain and then you get axillary pain, because the reason you have left axillary pain is because the main branch coming off of your aorta, it goes left first, right? And then everything else kind of branches out from there. So you're going to feel it there initially. And the whole carotid and jaw thing just kind of falls in line. It feels like a very bad toothache, or you got something going on, like literally right here down the front of your neck.
Those
Uh,
are like plastic signs.
Very
Some
classic.
patients don't get that though. Some patients, I mean, they'll come in, they just had a headache or they're so tired and they don't know why. It just all of a sudden happens. So, I mean, that's great. I mean, I'm not glad that you had those symptoms, but they were easy to identify at least, and
Yeah.
you acted quickly, which is very important.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's not always the case. Sometimes it's going to be, you're just going to have a massive heart attack and then that's it, right?
right. Yep.
But this is, well, from my perspective, this is God's way of going, hey, big man, you got something going on. We need to go look at it before it gets worse. And
Right.
I walked out of the heart hospital with peace of mind knowing that all the vessels that they looked at when they went and did the heart cath are now open, though some of them are only open at 40%. They're 60% stenosed. Um, but I'm still getting blood flow.
Right.
It still allows me the opportunity to, get up each day. put a smile on my face and get here and
Move on,
do our
right?
stuff. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Did
yeah,
they talk to you about any genetic testing or any other workup? You know, you've told me it's genetic for you, but I don't, I guess that can mean a lot of things. So, have you had any testing done in the past? Or,
I've never had no.
mm,
And I mean, I'm going back to my cardiologist in a couple of weeks here as a follow-up.
yeah.
And I'm going to ask him, I mean, like literally, what else can I do? I'm exercising. Um, I've, cut out a lot of the bad stuff. I'm trying to eat as healthy as I can eat, although,
Well,
sometimes.
I think with arachnoiditis specifically, and you have cladoquina on top of it, you also have the spinal cord injury and the ulcer on your foot. That's a lot systemically, systemic inflammation alone.
Yeah.
It's a big predisposition to get this any cardiac, and then you got autonomic nervous system involvement. The list just goes on. So. Yeah, I definitely think it warrants at this point, especially. Um, it wasn't calcification that was found, it was a blood clot. So that leads me to think some anticoagulation studies need done. But
Yeah.
that's my nursing brain. We're not here to really do all that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just worry about you. I don't want,
Yeah, I
you
appreciate
know.
that. Yeah, I'm just glad that I caught it and we can continue our mission with
Yeah, isn't it
arachnoiditis.
so
So,
funny? Our conversation the night before, or maybe the day before that, we were like, oh, we have to collaborate because like right now I'm doing what Facebook and TikTok or whatever, and you're doing the other ones. So neither of us have our info. Now we do, but at
yeah,
that point we didn't. So our mission couldn't have continued. So
yeah, it would have
not
just
the same way
it
anyway.
would have hit a brick wall. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm
now
glad.
we're here. We have our social media crew, which if you've lasted this long in this little episode, we'll be introducing them and trying to grow our platform. We just wrapped up an interview that we hope may go national. Let's keep our fingers
Amen,
crossed,
amen,
man.
amen. I
Yeah.
know, I'm so excited. So
But
much is going on. We have so many interviews coming or podcasts, whatever you want to call them. Um, Big collaborations are happening.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean,
please
just
keep.
past 30 days and
I know.
a lot's really happening. So
Yep.
excited.
Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing for sure, because we want to bring as many people to the channel as possible, not just people with arachnoiditis, but people with chronic conditions, chronic pain. I mean, pretty much anybody that needs a boost, because when you deal with what we deal with and you can put a smile on your face at the end of the day, I think that's really, really important. And that's kind of our thing, is that we are so vastly different from the majority of the people that we connect with this disease, because it's such a boat anchor. I mean, I keep using that term over and over again, but it is. I mean, it holds you back, it drags you down.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's a lifestyle change 100%. I mean, not just lifestyle, health, mental health, your actual health, physical, mental, all of it. I mean, and it's multi-system, so it affects everything.
Yeah. So, bring everybody on the board, bring your family on board. I've got people listening that have no chronic diseases and they're like, man, I love your positivity.
Me
And that's
too.
really what it's all about, is that when you can rise above the worst things in your life and be positive, you're a beacon to other people that need that positivity. And
Yeah.
that's us. So,
Yeah, it rubs off and it rubs off in a good way.
yeah,
Yay.
in a very good
And
way.
if it doesn't and you want to make fun of us, that's okay too. Maybe whatever. If it brings you some type of positivity, go
Yep,
with
yep.
it.
Bring it on. We can handle
Right.
it.
Yeah,
We got big
right. It is
shoulders.
what it
So,
is.
all
Yeah.
right. Well, hey, great seeing you again today. And
You look good. I'm glad everything's
thank you. I
okay.
feel good. I actually, I slept in today, as I
Good.
said.
I know you said you had a great
My
night's sleep. Oh, keep it
my
up.
body my body's still kind of trying to go, what happened? What's going on? Where do we go from here? And
Hmm.
I'm being as hard as it is for me to do this, I'm being as lazy as I can be, just going, you
That's
know what?
okay.
Yeah,
Your
no alarm
body
clock.
needs it though. I mean, it really needs to reset at this point.
But I,
And
I keep
what that
walking.
looks like might be different. It might not be the same as it was, at least for now, anyhow. But
I keep walking around the house. I got two bikes out in my garage hanging up. I got two bikes in my bedroom right now. And just I need to reposition them. I brought one out to show my brother-in-law the other day, my new bike.
Hmm.
Um, they're calling to me. I heard this Marvin Gaye song, "Let's Get It On."
Oh, let's get
Let's
it
get it
on.
on. And I was
Yeah,
looking at my
right.
bike going, yeah,
Want to get
baby,
out there?
let's
Yeah,
get it on.
I know.
So
I know, but
I may have to do a TikTok with me and my bike with Marvin Gaye song, "Let's Get It
yeah,
On."
that'd be fun, right? That'd be fun. Do a little short clip on it. That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, let our social media crew run with it and
So did they tell you that I mean, I know you're recovering. It's only been like, what, a
less than
week,
a week
maybe? Not
and
even a
a
week
week
yet.
today. Yeah.
Yeah. So did they tell you couldn't exercise or to limit? Okay. I assume that they would, but at the same time, I see not getting on the bike and going, like really fast, but you know what? I mean, very slow.
Well, so
Circulating your body more
yeah,
so,
when my surgeon came in the next day, like I was hospitalized overnight, and he came in the next day, and of course, true to form, I said, "When can I get back on my bike?" And he goes, "Oh," and he just kind of took a
Gosh.
step back. Like he goes,
Right.
he goes at least 3 weeks, but he kind of hesitated because he knows me, and he goes, as long as you get on and you're not pushing yourself, you're not like really elevating your heart rate,
Right.
that's fine. It's kind of like a brisk walk where you
Mhm.
can have a conversation and not be out of
Mhm.
breath.
Right,
And I
right.
was like, okay. But even though I got that authorization, I'm taking this first week and just kind of going,
Yeah.
this
No,
is,
I agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, uh,
100%. Let your body reset first.
yeah. But, I can't lift anything. I have like, here's where they went in radial, right?
Yeah.
Um, and which is far, far better than going in femoral
Right.
because it's a bigger cut down, right? There's
Hmm.
more, and it's a larger artery.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I can't lift anything over 5 pounds for the next 3 weeks while the artery's healing, for fear
Mm.
of, it
Right.
bleeding. And of course,
Right.
me being on blood thinners, that's not a good thing.
No,
So,
we don't want that to happen.
so
That's
yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
listening to my doctor, but anyway, this is probably we've rambled long enough,
I
and
know.
I
Okay.
guarantee you, the only people that will listen this far along in this is going to be you and I as we watch the playback. So
Probably, but that's okay. You can get some shorts out of it or whatever. But yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, keep smiling. We've got more coming up tomorrow. You and I, we've got a pretty busy day,
Yep.
and yeah, lots hopefully coming up next week. We're going to be working on that as well. So stay tuned. Love you, Sarah.
Love you too. Love
Okay.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.